weekly briefing for Central North Carolina, covering today through next Sunday, through September 28th. So just a quick look at what's going on right now. And this is the current water vapor loop. And I'll first draw your attention here to Hurricane Gabrielle, which is just east of Bermuda. There's Bermuda right there, that little tiny landmass. It's a Category 3. So yeah, that's a major hurricane. And here is each dot on the map shows where it's forecast to move over the next 5 days or so. Not a problem for Central North Carolina, but potentially a problem for East Coast beaches if there's anybody maybe taking a late last minute summer vacation at the coast. Certainly this system will send wave energy back toward the East Coast. So there'll be enhanced risk for rip currents along the North Carolina, South Carolina, basically the East Coast beaches over the next few days. So just be cognizant and aware of that. If you know somebody at the coast, remind them, or if you are headed down there over the next couple of days. Otherwise, what do we have going on? We have an area, this is sort of an upper low, and you can kind of see there's one piece of it there, there's a little piece of it there. The center of it somewhere back in here. This is all upper systems. We've got an area of high pressure or upper level ridging counterclockwise, giving us some high clouds across our area, but basically no weather to speak of. This system here will gradually move off to the east-northeast, and that is what will give us some rain chances here. This cluster of shower and thunderstorm activity will gradually ease eastward, and we'll get into a little bit of that come Tuesday, tomorrow, and Wednesday, mainly late in the day. So Hurricane Center is also keeping an eye on some disturbed weather south of Gabrielle, east of the Bahamas there, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. So that's current conditions. By the way, real quick, I don't want to be remiss and showing folks current temperatures. So not too bad right now. The current temperatures are in the mid 70s. We'll climb another 10 degrees, maybe 11 degrees before we top out in the mid 80s today. So again, if you don't mind some high clouds, some filtered sunshine, it should be a pretty nice day. All right, so here's the weather charts that I mentioned. High pressure will provide fair weather today. By tomorrow, rain chances will begin to increase as we head through the week. First, again, tomorrow and Wednesday, there will be a few showers, mainly across the western Piedmont, mainly from, west of the Triangle, but rain chances will become more widespread for Thursday and Friday, with areas west of I-95 potentially getting an inch or more of rain late in the week. So as that larger trough system finally pushes east and moves very slowly. So, the trough system I showed just a few moments ago on the visible, or on the water vapor satellite imagery. So, I know it's obviously been kind of dry, and we need the rain in some places, a lot of places in North Carolina. So we may get some, a little bit of a relief with some rain late in the week. Right now, as we go beyond Friday, right now the weather looks to be fair. That's our official forecast, fair weather this weekend. But we are keeping a close eye on the tropics. I'll elaborate a little bit more on that here in a moment. But there's a model or two out there that shows one of those areas of disturbed weather there south of Gabrielle, maybe spinning up and making a run towards the Outer Banks. But some really good models show that not happening. So what we're going to say right now is we're keeping an eye on it. Right now, we've got fair weather for the weekend, but again, stay tuned. Above normal temperatures through the work week, and then falling back close to the normal this weekend. All right. So here's how the rain looks like it'll play out through the next 5 days. Dry today. If you're Greensboro westward, there could be some again, shower activity late tomorrow. Wednesday, it'll eke a little bit further eastward. And then by Thursday and Friday, that's when we're getting into more of the appreciable rain, mainly west of I-95. And again, when you add up the 5 days, there could be a spot that gets 2.5 or more inches of rain. Particularly between Greensboro and Raleigh. We'll see if it plays out exactly like that. But there could be, I would say our confidence is very high that places across the western half, particularly west of I-95, will see, at least an inch of rain through the next 5 days. But some places could get more, 2.5, maybe 3 inches of rain. Again, much needed rain. But certainly when you get it all at once like that, there's obviously, if it comes down too hard, too fast, that could result in localized flash flooding. So the days 4 and 5 excessive rainfall outlook do show a marginal risk for flash flooding. Nothing in the next 3 days, and that's what I'm showing here for excessive rainfall outlook. But do know that, again, looking at that rainfall for Thursday and Friday, if it comes down too hard, too fast in any given place or trains, there could be isolated pockets of flash flooding, okay? In terms of severe thunderstorm potential, we're not seeing any this week. Of course, we'll keep an eye on it. Things could change. And then the tropics, as I've kind of alluded to, you could see there in the little call out box there, Gabrielle's going to stay well, obviously to our east and move back to the east. Rip current threat for the East Coast, as I mentioned. The red area, if something were to develop in the area hatched red, that would probably stay way to our east. But it's the area in orange we're kind of keeping an eye on. There's some very reliable models that develop a system in that area and move it toward the Outer Banks late this upcoming weekend. So, but there's some really, really good models that don't, that either show nothing happening or maybe something just kind of much weaker lingering out there. So right now our official forecast leans towards the more favorable side. But again, we'll be keeping a close eye on this. Certainly if something were to get going, I think by the time we do our routine Thursday briefing later this week, we'll have a much better handle on that. All right, so looking beyond this week into the next week, we're expecting above normal temperatures and near or maybe slightly above normal precipitation, okay? All right, so as we kind of graphically outline our hazards this week, lightning, while we don't necessarily have a severe thunderstorm potential, there could be some lightning. There could be some excessive heavy rainfall Thursday and Friday, very localized. That could result in some localized flash flooding. It's going to be hot, for this time of year. What's the normal high this time of year? In the upper 70s to around 80. So when we're in the upper 80s to around 90, that could be, could portend for maybe an extreme heat threat. Again, that would be, towards the middle of the week. Otherwise, look out for some fog the next couple mornings. So that's not unusual this time of year as the nights get longer, but dew points stay higher, as we come out of the warm season. So not unusual to see more frequent foggy mornings in the fall season. So you'll see that frequently highlighted in the fall season in our graphical hazardous weather outlook. Okay, so we're going to button this up. High pressure will provide fair weather today. Rain chances increase as we head through the week. Maybe some spotty shower activity late tomorrow, mainly along and west of the Triad, a little bit further east on Wednesday, but best chance Thursday and Friday for that rain, particularly along in west of I-95, where there'll probably be at least an inch of rain. Some spots could get 2 or 3 inches of rain, but that would be more localized, again, Thursday and Friday. And again, we're keeping a close eye on the tropics, possible TC development off the southeast US coast this weekend. Right now, we do have fair weather in our official forecast for this weekend, but again, come back on Thursday for our routine briefing. We'll know pretty much by then. Okay. And then above normal temperatures through the work week, then close to normal this weekend. Again, be cautious of that. Again, watch out for some localized heavy rain Thursday and Friday, and the flash flooding potential with that. There's the details on the numbers. Look at that, pretty hot. I would call that hot Tuesday and Wednesday. You might not call that hot in August or July, but certainly now in September, that's pretty hot. So anyway, and then look at how the little graphics there turn wet for Thursday and Friday. So that's the way things are shaping up. Okay, and that's our routine weekly briefing for this Monday, 22nd of September, 2025.